Hello and welcome. Today we are going to discuss 8 behaviors you must abandon to become strong, an important step you need to take on the path to becoming strong. Some habits and thought patterns in our lives can hold us back and prevent us from realizing our potential. In this video, we will explore how you can let go of these negative behaviors and become a stronger, more resilient individual. If you're ready, let's get started. The first bad habit that weakens you is procrastination. Procrastination is the act of delaying or avoiding important tasks and doing something easier, more fun, or less urgent instead. Procrastination can lead to wasted time, missed deadlines, poor performance, stress, anxiety, guilt, and low self-esteem. Procrastination can also prevent you from achieving your goals and realizing your potential. For example, let's say you have a project due tomorrow but you haven't started working on it yet. Instead of getting to work, you decide to watch some Netflix, check your social media, watch some video. You decide to play a game or do some other unrelated activity. You tell yourself that you will do it later, that you work better under pressure, or that you don't want to do it right now. But the truth is that you avoid the task simply because it is difficult, boring, or unpleasant. You choose short-term pleasure over long-term benefit. You sacrifice your future for your present. How can you overcome procrastination? By adopting Stoicism. Stoicism is a philosophy that teaches us how to live according to reason, nature, and virtue. It helps us to control our emotions, face our challenges, and live in harmony with ourselves and others. It also helps us to focus on what we can control and ignore what we cannot. By applying the principles and practices of stockpiling, you can overcome procrastination and become more productive, efficient, and disciplined. One stockpiling practice that can help you overcome procrastination is the premeditation of evils. This is the practice of imagining worst-case scenarios that could happen if you don't do what you need to do. For example, if you don't finish your project on time, you might fail the class. You might lose your scholarship, disappoint your family, damage your reputation, or miss an opportunity. By imagining these negative consequences, you can motivate yourself to take action and avoid them. You can also use this practice to remind yourself of the positive outcomes that can occur when you do what you need to do. For example, if you finish your project on time, you might get a good grade, impress your teacher, boost your confidence, or learn something new. By imagining these positive outcomes, you can inspire yourself to take action and achieve them. Another Stoic practice that can help you overcome procrastination is the dilemma of control. This is the practice of distinguishing between what you can and cannot control and focusing only on the former. For example, you cannot control how difficult, boring, or unpleasant a task is. But you can control how you approach it, how you manage your time, how you deal with distractions, and how you reward yourself. By focusing on what you can control, you can reduce your stress, anxiety, and frustration, and increase your motivation, determination, and satisfaction. The second bad habit that weakens you is negative thinking. Negative thinking is the act of focusing on the negative aspects of situations, events, or on oneself and ignoring or minimizing the positive aspects. Negative thinking can make you feel unhappy, pessimistic, hopeless, and helpless. Negative thinking can also affect your behavior, decision-making, and problem-solving skills. It can also create a self-fulfilling prophecy where your expectations affect your results. Because you are what you think you are. For example, let's say you are going to give an important presentation in front of a large audience, but you feel nervous and insecure. Instead of thinking positively, you start thinking negatively. You think things like "I'm going to mess up," "I'm not good enough," "they're going to laugh at me," or "I'm going to fail." By thinking these negative thoughts, you are setting yourself up for failure. You make yourself more nervous, less confident, and less prepared. You also increase the likelihood that you will perform poorly, or that you will be perceived as performing poorly even if you are not. One of the Stoic principles that can help you overcome negative thinking is the principle of judgment. This principle says that nothing is good or bad, only our judgments make it so. For example, the presentation itself is neither good nor bad, only your judgment makes it so. By changing your judgment, you can change your perception, and by changing your perception, you can change your emotions. Instead of viewing the presentation as a threat, a challenge, or an opportunity, you can view it as a neutral event with no inherent value or meaning other than the meaning you give it. By doing this, you can detach yourself from your negative thoughts and see the situation in a more objective and rational way. Another Stoic principle that can help you overcome negative thinking is the principle of reserve. This principle says that you should always include in your plans, goals, or expectations the phrase "if nothing prevents me" or "if fate permits." For example, instead of saying "I will give a great presentation," you should say "I will give a great presentation if nothing prevents me." By doing this, you can prepare yourself for the possibility of failure, disappointment, or distress and avoid becoming too attached to the results you want. You can also use this principle to remind yourself of the things that are out of your control and focus only on the things that are within your control. For example, you cannot control how the audience will react, how technology will work, or how circumstances will unfold, but you can control how you prepare, how you practice, and how you react. The third bad habit that weakens you is complaining. Complaining is the act of expressing dissatisfaction, discontent, or anger about something or someone without taking any action to change or improve it. It can make you feel unhappy, bitter, and victimized. Complaining can also alienate you from others who may find you annoying, negative, or ungrateful. It can prevent you from finding solutions or opportunities and instead keep you stuck in your problems. For example, let's say you have a job you hate, but you don't do anything to change it. Instead of looking for a better job, improving your skills, or finding ways to enjoy your work, you just complain. You complain about your boss, your coworkers, your customers, your tasks, your salary, your working hours, or anything else that bothers you. You tell yourself that you are unlucky, that you deserve better, that you have no choice, or that you are powerless to change it. But the truth is that you are just wasting your time, energy, and potential. Instead of being proactive, you choose to be unhappy. One of the Stoic practices that can help you overcome complaining is the practice of gratitude. This is the practice of being grateful for what you have, instead of resenting what you don't have. For example, instead of complaining about your job, you can be grateful that you have a job, that you have an income, that you have a purpose, that you have a chance to learn, or that you have an opportunity to serve. By practicing gratitude, you can change your perspective and see the positive aspects of your situation instead of the negative ones. You can also use this practice to thank people who have helped you, supported you, or inspired you. You can also use it to express your gratitude to others. By doing this, you can strengthen your relationships and spread positivity and kindness. Another Stoic practice that can help you overcome complaining is the practice of action. This is the practice of taking responsibility for your life and doing what you can to change or improve it. For example, instead of complaining about your job, you can take action to find a better job, improve your skills, find ways to enjoy your work, or start your own business. By taking action, you can empower yourself and create the life you want. You can also use this app to help others who are facing similar problems or who could benefit from your skills, knowledge, or experience. By doing so, you can make a positive difference in the world and feel more fulfilled. The fourth bad habit that makes you weak is blaming. Blaming is the act of blaming someone or something else for your own failures, mistakes, or misfortunes, without acknowledging or correcting your own role or contribution. Blaming can make you feel angry, resentful, and powerless. Blame can also damage your relationships, trust, and reputation. Blame can also prevent you from learning from your experiences and instead make you repeat your mistakes. For example, let's say you fail an exam but you don't admit that you didn't study enough or that you carelessly made some mistakes. Instead of taking responsibility, you blame the teacher, the questions, the grading system, the weather, or anything else you can think of. You tell yourself that it is not your fault, that the world is not a fair place anyway, that the traffic situation, or that you are just unlucky or sabotaged. But the truth is that you are just avoiding the truth and making excuses, choosing to be a victim instead of being responsible. One of the Stoic principles that can help you overcome blame is the principle of causality. This principle says that everything happens for a reason and nothing happens by chance. For example, the exam result is not a random event, but a result of your actions and the actions of others. By understanding the causes and consequences of events, you can see the bigger picture and accept the reality of the situation. You can also use this principle to identify factors that are and are not under your control and act accordingly. For example, you cannot control the teacher, the questions, the grading system, or the weather. But you can control your study habits, your test-taking skills, your attitude, and your reaction. Another Stoic principle that can help you overcome blame is the principle of self-examination. This principle says that you should always reflect on your own thoughts, words, and actions and judge them by the standards of reason, nature, and virtue. For example, instead of blaming others, you should examine yourself. Ask yourself, what did I do wrong? What can I do better? What have I learned? Or how can I improve? By doing this, you can acknowledge your own mistakes, correct your own mistakes, and grow from your own experiences. You can also use this principle to forgive others who may have hurt, offended, or disappointed you. By doing so, you can let go of your anger, resentment, and bitterness and restore your peace, harmony, and goodwill. The fifth bad habit that makes you weak is comparison. Comparison is the act of measuring your worth, success, or happiness against someone else's and feeling superior or inferior as a result. Comparison can make you feel jealous, insecure, or arrogant. It can also distort your perception of reality and cause you to lose sight of your own strengths, weaknesses, and uniqueness. It can prevent you from appreciating what you have and instead make you chase after what you don't have. For example, suppose you have a friend who seems to have everything you want. A great job, a beautiful wife, a nice house, a fancy car, or a lot of money. Instead of being happy for your friend or inspired by your friend, you start comparing yourself to your friend. Why does he have it and I don't? He doesn't deserve it, I deserve it. He must be cheating, lying, or stealing. He must be unhappy, lonely, or miserable. You think things like that. By thinking these thoughts, you make yourself unhappy, bitter, and resentful. You also ignore your own achievements, qualities, and opportunities. You also make yourself dissatisfied with your own life and always want more. One of the Stoic principles that can help you overcome comparison is the principle of self-knowledge. This principle says that you need to know yourself and be honest with yourself. For example, instead of comparing yourself to others, you should compare yourself to yourself. You should ask yourself, who am I? What do I want? What do I value? What do I need? You have to ask questions like. By doing this, you can discover your own identity, purpose, and happiness. You can also use this principle to measure your own progress and celebrate your growth. For example, ask yourself, how have I improved? What have I learned? What have I achieved? How did I help? What did I learn? What did I achieve? How did I help? By doing so, you can appreciate your own efforts, results, and contributions. Another Stoic principle that can help you overcome comparing yourself to others is the principle of self-reliance. This principle says that you should rely on yourself and not on others. For example, instead of relying on others to be appreciated, approved of, or happy, you should rely on yourself. You should develop your own virtues, skills, and passions, and use them to enrich your life and the lives of others. You should also use this principle to accept your own limitations and embrace your own challenges. For example, instead of resenting others for their advantages or envying them for their successes, you should accept your own circumstances and make the best of them. You should also use this principle to seek your own opportunities and create your own possibilities. For example, instead of waiting for others to give you what you want or do what you want, you should take action and make it happen. The sixth bad habit that makes you weak is running away. Bad habit that makes you weak is running away. Escaping is the act of using substances, activities, or distractions to avoid facing or dealing with your own feelings, thoughts, or problems. Escaping can make you feel numb, bored, or addicted. Escaping can also damage your physical and mental health and interfere with your daily functions and responsibilities. It can prevent you from facing and solving your problems and instead make them worse. For example, let's say you have a lot of stress, worry, or sadness in your life, but you don't know how to deal with them. Instead of seeking help or finding healthy ways to express or release them, you resort to escaping. You escape by using drugs, alcohol, gambling, shopping, eating, or other addictive behaviors. You escape by watching television, playing games, surfing the internet, or engaging in irrational activities that do nothing to help or benefit you. You escape without looking back by sleeping, dreaming, fantasizing, or any other dissociative activity. You tell yourself that you are just having fun, relaxing, or trying to cope. But the truth is that you are just running away from your reality and numbing yourself from your emotions. You choose to be weak instead of strong. One of the Stoic principles that can help you overcome running away from your problems is the principle of self-control. This principle says that you should master your impulses, desires, and passions and not let them dominate you. For example, instead of escaping by using substances, activities, or distractions, you should practice self-control by limiting, reducing, or eliminating them. You should also use this principle to replace unhealthy habits with healthy ones, such as meditation, exercise, reading, or learning. By doing so, you can improve your physical and mental health and increase your well-being and performance. Another Stoic principle that can help you overcome avoidance is the principle of mindfulness. This principle says that you should be aware of your own feelings, thoughts, actions, and their consequences. For example, you should practice mindfulness by accepting, acknowledging, and understanding your feelings, thoughts, or problems instead of avoiding or ignoring them. You can also use this principle to confront and deal with your feelings, thoughts, or problems. For your own sake, find constructive ways to express, release, or resolve them. By doing this, you can reduce your stress, anxiety, and sadness, and increase your happiness, peace, and contentment. The seventh bad habit that makes you weak is to please. To please is to try to make others happy at the expense of your own needs, preferences, or values. It can make you feel stressed, exhausted, or resentful. Pleasing can also undermine your self-esteem, pride, and self-confidence. It can prevent you from expressing your true feelings, ideas, or desires, and instead compromise your authenticity and integrity. For example, suppose you have a friend who asks you to do something you don't want to do or that goes against your principles. Instead of saying no or defending yourself, you say yes or comply. You tell yourself that you are only being kind, helpful, or loyal, but in fact you are being weak. You choose to please your friend instead of pleasing yourself. You also choose to lose your friend's respect, trust, and admiration, and gain his or her contempt, pity, or manipulation. One of the Stoic principles that can help you overcome pleasing others is the principle of autonomy. This principle says that you should be your own master and not let others determine your life. For example, instead of pleasing others by doing what they want or expect, you should please yourself by doing what you want or what you think is right. You should also use this principle to respect your own needs, preferences, and values, and not sacrifice them for those of others. By doing so, you can honor your own dignity, freedom, and happiness. Another Stoic principle that can help you overcome contentment is the principle of justice. This principle says that you should treat others the way you want to be treated, not the way they treat you. For example, instead of pleasing others by being dishonest, insincere, or hypocritical, you should please yourself by being honest, sincere, and consistent. You should also use this principle to express your own feelings, ideas, or desires and not suppress them for others. By doing this, you can maintain your own honesty, trustworthiness, and authenticity. The eighth bad habit that makes you weak is giving up. Giving up is the act of giving up on your goals, dreams, or plans when faced with difficulties, challenges, or failures. Giving up can make you feel frustrated, disappointed, or regretful. Giving up can also limit your growth, development, and achievements. It can prevent you from exploring your potential and instead make you settle for mediocrity. For example, let's say you have a passion for music and want to become a professional musician. But along the way you encounter obstacles such as lack of talent, lack of resources, lack of support, or lack of opportunity. Instead of persevering, finding alternatives, or seeking help, you decide to quit. You tell yourself it's too hard, too risky, too unrealistic, or too late. But the truth is that you are giving up on your dream and on yourself. You choose to be weak instead of strong. One of the Stoic principles that can help you overcome giving up is the principle of endurance. This principle says that whatever happens to you, you should face it with patience, dignity, and fortitude. For example, when faced with difficulties, challenges, or failures, instead of giving up, you should bear them with calmness, confidence, and optimism. You should also use this principle to learn from your experiences and use them to improve yourself or help others. By doing so, you can turn obstacles into opportunities and setbacks into comebacks. You should also use this principle to learn from your experiences and use them to improve yourself or help others. By doing so, you can turn your obstacles into opportunities and your setbacks into comebacks. Another Stoic principle that can help you overcome giving up is the principle of courage. This principle says that you should act in accordance with your reason, nature, and virtue, even if it means facing danger, pain, or death. For example, when faced with fear, doubt, or uncertainty, you should act with courage, conviction, and purpose rather than giving up. You should also use this principle to pursue your goals, dreams, or plans, even if they seem impossible, improbable, or impractical. By doing so, you can overcome your limitations and reach your potential. This is the end of another video. I hope you enjoyed it and learned something valuable. I hope you also realized how these 8 bad habits weaken you and how you can change them by adopting Stoicism. Stoicism is not just a philosophy, it is a way of life. It teaches us how to control our emotions, how to face our difficulties, and how to live in harmony with ourselves and others. It helps us become better people and achieve true happiness. If you want to learn more about Stoicism and how it can transform your life, be sure to check out my other videos on this channel. And if you liked this video, if you found it valuable, please like it and share it with your friends. Also, let me know in the comments below which of these 8 bad habits you struggle with the most and how you plan to overcome them. I would love to hear from you and support you on your journey. Thank you so much for watching. See you in the next video. Stay strong, stay stocked, and stay awesome.